Hi, this is Josephine. Welcome back to Modern Mystics. Thank you for joining. Today I'm going to be doing some more tarot readings for you guys. I have got my Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes. And I'm just going to look at some questions that you guys are asking and try to provide a little more information for you guys. Shed some light on any questions that you have, big or small. And first person that I'm going to answer for, his name is Michael, and he is 34, and he asks, do I need to worry about COVID? I'm just going to say, I try to say this every time, if you've got medical concerns, you really need to ask a medical professional, not just a psychic. Obviously, like, we can provide help, and we can provide some, like, illumination as to what you're dealing with or what you may have to do in order to deal with certain things, but I don't want you to think that we're a replacement for the doctor. That being said, let me look into this for you, and rather than do I need to worry about COVID, I'm going to try and read for what can I do, like what steps can I take to kind of prevent COVID from throwing my life off. So let me see what I can do for you. Alright, let's see. Alright, I'm going to pull 3 cards. And this can be how you end up successfully defeating COVID. Alright. So, the first card that I pulled was the Tower. So, the Tower suggests that you may need to break down maybe some of your ideas about COVID, or you may need to break down some of your habits that you have right now, because they might be putting you in more danger of needing to deal with COVID more. You may need to like end certain habits and certain just regular activities in your life that are kind of putting you at more risk. That could be smoking, that could be, just going out a whole lot, that could be just like not taking care of your body, and so your immune system is in a worse place. Really just like, you need to be using caution if you're not using caution. Second card pulled is Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands, I feel like, could be a card that suggests you need to start new good habits. So break down your old bad habits with the Tower, plant your new good habits with Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands can also be just starting a new exercise routine. It could be, making investments towards your healthcare. I'm not sure, just like starting something new that would be good for you, that would be good for your health. And then the last card pulled is the Moon. And the Moon is a sort of uncertain card, I would say. It rules water signs. Maybe you need to drink more water. That could be it. Or it might just be that you need to get into a good cycle and some good habits of taking care of yourself, because the Moon is very cyclical. It's a very cyclical card. And it could also be that you're kind of just confused. You might be confused about all the different information that we kind of get about COVID. Maybe you need to just like do some more research, figure out what it is that you could be doing to kind of be proactive with your health, and then that way you won't need to worry about COVID. I think that's kind of all it's saying, is just break down your bad habits, start some good habits, and just like eliminate the confusion. And if there's confusion that you kind of can't eliminate or you can't get rid of because we just don't know all the answers yet, you might just need to like wait in the uncertainty and do whatever you can on your part, and don't worry about it. Don't just sit around worrying about it, because worrying is bad for your health. So I'm going to say, no, you don't need to worry about COVID, but you do need to be proactive with your health. And that's kind of, I think, the best option for you right now. All right, I hope that answered your question. So I'm going to move on to Angelica. She is 22 years old, and she says, I'm a designer on a creative block. Where can I find inspiration? So I am going to try and pull 2 cards. Let's do 2 cards for what we can do to help inspire Angelica. Because a creative block, they can be rough. They can be hard to get past. And when you've got to work in creativity every day, I'm sure that that's a real struggle. Because it can be hard to just keep, like, being productive, producing, not producing, that's not a word. Alright, let me see. 2 cards for where you can find inspiration. Alright. So we got Ace of Wands again. Ace of Wands has come up again. And we got Queen of Cups. So, let me see. Ace of Wands and Queen of Cups. Ace of Wands is all about kind of starting new things that you are passionate about. It could also be a kind of sensual energy, I guess you could say. And then Queen of Cups is like a creative, emotional, like kind of feminine presence. Maybe just look back at things that inspired you before. Look back at things that inspired you when you really were feeling passionate about your new job, or when you were really feeling passionate just about becoming a creative, just about becoming an artist. Like, when you were starting out, what was it that inspired you to start out? What kind of brought you to where you became this creative woman that you are now? Because when you can go back to the root of things, you can kind of, maybe you've like, think about it this way, you're at the root of your creativity and you're creating all these branches that go out. Maybe you've been on a branch and you kind of, that branch has nowhere else to go. And so you need to go back down to the root and start a new branch. Like, find your core inspirations, go back to them and see if you can get something new out of that core inspiration. That's the vibe that I get from those. And you might even, if there is a creative woman that you know who inspired you initially, this could be like an old art teacher or an old design teacher. Maybe you could go back to them and see what they have for you in terms of creative inspiration, in terms of, you know, you could bounce ideas off of them and maybe they can give you stuff back, and that way you get the creative flow going again. I really think that you have kind of lost a passion there, and you need to like bring the passion back. Just like get out of your head and kind of like try to throw things out there, and I would definitely focus on something that inspired you to initially get into design. That's kind of my main takeaway for you, I would say. Alright. I hope that gave you some help. Definitely look into seeing if there's like a past teacher who could give you help with that. Alright, I'm going to move on to, I hope that helped you, Angelica. I'm going to move on to Cheryl, who is 46, and she says, I've had pain in my left knee for a while now. What's going on and when will it be better? Again, if you're really struggling with pain and you can get to a doctor, go to a health professional, see what they'll say for you, see if there's anything that they can do to help you. But let's see if we can figure out the cause of this pain and what you need to do to kind of make it better. If there's anything you can do on your own to kind of make this better. Alright. Sorry, I'm leaning around a lot. Oh, throwing cards. Alright, so first thing I got, the cause is the Four of Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles, maybe you're not moving around enough, or maybe you're not like stretching enough, because if this is the cause, this is a really stable and like secure and kind of unmoving card. And it sort of is related to like saving. So maybe you've been kind of trying to prevent anything happening to your knee, and you've kind of ended up making it stiff. I'm not really sure, because Four of Pentacles, I'm not sure how that would be. It might just be that you're like saving too much money on your knee. Maybe it means that you're supposed to spend some money on your knee. Like maybe you need to spend some money to get some supports. Because the second card is Nine of Swords, and that's kind of how it can get better. And I don't know, maybe this is like you're holding on to something that you want to keep doing, but you need to let go of that and kind of mourn it so that you can move on. It's strange that this is the card that is like you can get better doing this, because the Nine of Swords is kind of a like anxiety card, but it also can be like being in bed and kind of recovering. Maybe it's that you are holding on too tightly to something that you do, which is like maybe you run marathons, or maybe you go places all the time and you're never giving your knees any rest. Maybe you're overworking yourself. Maybe you have a job where you're on your feet all day long, and you're trying to save money and you're trying to make money so that you can be okay, but you're like destroying your knees maybe. And so you need to kind of rest your knee, because she's in bed. And I don't feel like it's like you need to sit around and kind of cry about your situation, which is a little bit what the Nine of Swords is, but I think that you need to lie down and rest. I think honestly, look into getting some maybe knee braces. And if it is really bothering you and you rest and you give your knee time to heal and it's still bothering you, then I would say go to see a medical professional. But I really think that maybe there's just like something that you're holding on to, like an activity that you're holding on to that you don't want to let go of. And once you let go of it for a while, you'll be able to enjoy it more after you rest, because then your knee won't hurt so much. I think maybe that's my best interpretation. And definitely look into it. If you can go to a doctor, then I would say go to a doctor. Alright, Cheryl, let me see what else I've got. I've got Wendy, and I hope that answers your question, Cheryl. I hope your knee gets better. So we've got a question from Wendy. Wendy is 23, and she says, my youngest child is super cautious and shy. Will she break out of her shell on her own? How much should I encourage her to go beyond her comfort zone? Alright, so let's look into this. Let's look and see, will she break out of her shell on her own? Will she break out of her shell on her own? And how much should she encourage her to go beyond her comfort zone? And let's look and see why if there's, what's the root cause of her being so super cautious and shy. So I'm going to pull a card for the root cause. Root cause is Page of Cups. So she's a very sensitive child. She probably is someone that doesn't react very well to criticism or negativity. She wants to be kind of left to her own devices. She's kind of in her own inner world, maybe. And it might not even be that she is so shy and cautious so much as she's just kind of a sensitive soul. And she just isn't ready to kind of throw herself into big social situations. And it might just be, you know, she's just not as interested in it. She might just be a little more of a creative type of introspective type. Alright, so let me see. Will she break out of her shell on her own? I've got Nine of Swords again. Nine of Swords keeps popping up. This might be a no, and she may not. This could also mean that she struggles with, maybe she struggles with anxiety, maybe she struggles with ADHD. This might be something that you need to talk to a pediatrician about, because maybe she has, like, if she has anxiety, then it's going to be really difficult for her to leave her comfort zone of not talking to people for fear of anxiety. And this is something that she may not be able to control. Like, she may not be able to just jump in due to social anxiety. Because this can also mean dealing with anxiety, dealing with worry. So if she really is nervous like this, you may need to look into a pediatrician or like a child psychologist who can kind of help her get over these negative thoughts. And then, let's see. How much should you encourage her to go beyond her comfort zone? So how much should you encourage her to go beyond her comfort zone? And then Nine of Wands. So we've got Nine of Wands and Nine of Swords and Page of Cups. I really don't think that encouraging her to, like, just saying, go out there and make friends, you need to make friends, you'll feel better if you make friends, I don't think that's gonna pay off. I think she's still, like, heavily guarded. Like, she's got a very guarded heart, and she's got worries, she's got, you know, she's a very sensitive person, and maybe she's been bullied, maybe, like, it's just, like, she can't get past something mentally. So, it may not be a method of just get out there and just make friends. It might be something that she really needs help with. She might need a therapist who can, you know, help her get over anxiety, help her get over these different irrational fears that she has. And this is common with very sensitive children, I think, especially nowadays. We just have a lot of people struggling, being overwhelmed, and not knowing how to navigate social situations. So just, like, let her grow and let her kind of, like, understand that there's nothing wrong with her. She doesn't need to worry about these kinds of things, but she may need some type of a psychiatrist or something who is specialized in dealing with this type of thing. And I think she's gonna be fine. You know, she's gonna be fine. Just lift her and, you know, get her whatever she needs to be happy, and she'll end up blossoming. That's what I think. I used to be really shy as a child, and I ended up okay. So I think she'll be fine. Just, you know, be sensitive with her. She's a sensitive person. And I hope that helps you, Wendy. I hope that helps you out. I'm gonna move on to Judy. Judy is 30 years old. She says, she asks, should I tell my boyfriend I cheated? So let's look and see if this is a yes or a no. I would think you probably should. But let's just see what the cards say. Alright, Ten of Pentacles. So, Ten of Pentacles is a yes. You probably should tell him you cheated. Because it is the Ten of Pentacles, I don't know if there is some type of security at play there. If you, like, you don't want to tell him because you don't want to kind of cause him to be insecure. But at this point, if you have cheated on him, you probably should tell him, just clear the air and then move on from there. Because I do think, like, the longer you hold on to cheating and you don't tell the other person, the worse it is when it does eventually come out. Because I think you'll just keep struggling with it. You'll feel it inside you, and eventually he'll get the hint that something is off. And then if it happened so far back in the past, you'll think, because this is also a legacy card, so like if you end up having a legacy of cheating, it's just going to be a struggle to like trust each other from then on. So if you really think it's causing a problem and you're like, well, I don't know if I should tell him, go ahead and tell him. There's nothing wrong with clearing the air and being honest with the person that you're in a relationship with. And if you're really, like, if you're not interested in him anymore and you're kind of interested in someone else, you really should let him go. Just let him go and let him kind of, find someone new, you find someone new, start with a blank slate. We can pull another card just to see kind of how you should handle the situation whenever you do tell him. And let's see, because I do think knowing kind of the tone to take will definitely help with how he receives it. So let's see. This one. Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords is a card that's kind of about sneaking around and kind of like doing what's best for you and being clever. I mean, like, I guess this would be the easiest way to do it, and just be honest and say, like, okay, I did this and I thought I would get away with it, but then I felt so bad I decided to tell you. Like, don't try to paint yourself as like, oh no, I was the victim of it and it just randomly happened. Just be honest, say like, I cheated, I did, I'm sorry. If we can move on from this, let's move on from this. But if we can't, I just wanted to be honest with you and let you know. I wanted to be upfront about it, and I didn't want to kind of hide a bunch of things from you. So like, I would say just own up to it and be honest about it. I wouldn't try and like sneak around or try to leave out details. Just give him the cut and dry, here's what happened. And just be honest about how you felt about it. If you can't be honest with yourself about it, you're not going to be able to be honest with him about it. So just be honest with yourself about how you felt about it, and then let him know. That's the best thing for both of you, in my opinion. And I think the cards kind of agree. Just be honest. Be honest with everything that happened. And then you can at least know you acted with integrity from this point on. That's my advice. I hope that helps you out, Judy. I really do. And I hope everything goes okay. Alright, let's move on to Elise. Elise is 44, and she asks, will I find a new job soon? So let's look and see, will you find a new job soon? And if it's a no, then let's look and see what we can do to kind of get you in a better position to get the next job. Bigger and better things. Alright. Alright, so we got the Hermit. The Hermit is kind of a maybe, or it might be a not yet. Like, it's coming, but not quite yet. Um, if your job is kind of a working from home job, if you're looking to see if you got a working from home job where you work alone, pretty much, this could be a good sign. But if it's a job where you would be working with a lot of people, I believe this would be a negative sign. But if you are looking for a stay-at-home job where you work mostly alone, I think this would probably be a good sign. So, let's see maybe what the new job that you should be looking for is. So, keeping that in mind, what would a new job look like for you? The next new job. So, Knight of Pentacles. This is good. This suggests that it would be pretty good money, the next job that you get. Maybe you would be working with finance. Maybe you would be working in some type of savings or like bonds. You could be working with investments. Could be working with taxes. Really just look into things where you are dealing with money, but it's kind of a fast-paced job. I'm not sure if that's the kind of job that you're looking for. Or it could be just anything that's making steady money, honestly. This is a very, like, I think steady money with Knight of Pentacles. So, I think look for a job from home, where you work from home, that's making pretty steady money. And it could be something where you're like doing somebody's QuickBooks, balancing their finances. I'm not sure what your background is for that type of thing, but yeah. Probably a job where you work alone most of the time and you're working with money. You're definitely handling money. Yeah, I see that as a good thing for you. I see that like you probably will get another job soon. I hope that answers your question. Alright, Elise, let me see. Maybe I'll pull one more and see what you can do to kind of speed up the process. Temperance. So whatever you do, don't be too rigid with what you're looking for in the job, and kind of be open to jobs that you wouldn't necessarily consider. Maybe jobs that you're just not applying for, and be willing to compromise and be able to kind of work with people, be diplomatic in your dealings with people, and be good at kind of coming up with creative solutions. I think that's kind of, just be more open-minded. Be more open-minded about what jobs you could be doing. You might be saying, well, okay, I can only apply to this job because of my qualifications. Just apply. Just apply to the jobs that you want. Because in reality, most jobs are really just looking for someone that can do the job competently. At this point, I really think that like you can have a bunch of qualifications, but there are things that companies are looking for that don't always come with degrees and things like that. Like, if you can really show that you are good at managing people's taxes, if you've like done your family's taxes for a long time, that type of thing can be good for you, I think. Like, just give examples of why you can be a competent person and benefit this company. Alright, I hope that opened your mind a little bit, at least. Just go for the job that you want. And I'm going to do one last question. This is from Josie. And Josie is 43, and she says, when will the world come together and find peace? That is a big one. I am not sure. That one little tarot reading can kind of bring together all the complexities of that question, but let me pull a card and see, not maybe when, because I hate to pull a card and it say like, never or something. I don't want that. Like, I don't feel like it's something that simple. I feel like it's a very complex question. So let's just look and see what we can do to speed up the process of the world coming together and finding peace. So let's look at that. What can we do to help the world come together and find peace? All right. All right, so got Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is a kind, nurturing, giving, stable, emotionally stable person. And I do think that that really is the key, is don't worry about what you can fix in other people's actions and what other people are doing. Don't worry about that. Think about what you can do. Think about the kind of person you would want to run into and be that person. If you were broken down by the side of the road, you would want somebody to come help you. If you were needing to pay your rent, you would want there to be somebody who could help you if you weren't able to pay your rent. You, like, if there are things that you can do for your neighbors, then do that. If there are, like, little ways in which you can give back, give back. I think that that's the quickest way to world peace, is just to be the peace and to be the kindness that you want to see in the world. And I think that that's a good stopping point. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please tune into Modern Mystics again. I'm so excited to do more of these readings for you guys, and I hope that I was able to shed some light on your questions. And just have a great rest of the week. Bye!